Hey guys, welcome to season 3, episode 8 of the MKAU show. Today we have Fletcher,
Don't know.
we have Redgraves,
Howdy, howdy.
we have Mr. Vibe,
Heyo.
vibing out, and we have Sub-Zero 2K.
Hey, what's up?
So E3's come and gone, and this is our wrap-up episode, I guess we could say, for E3. We're gonna talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, who killed it, who didn't kill it, and just our general feelings about the whole experience post-COVID. So, how do we feel in general about E3 as a collective this year? Anyone?
It's a bit tidier than what it was last year. I mean,
Yeah.
last year was a lot more chaotic. It was in the middle of the worst part of the pandemic, and everyone seems to be getting things planned around a little bit better. I think it went off pretty well.
Yeah, I think they did pretty well with what they had to work with. You know, like they didn't show much stuff on stuff we already knew about, I found. Like we already knew about say things like the Suicide Squad or what's the other DC one they have?
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, Gotham Knights. They didn't really show a lot of stuff on stuff we already knew was in the works, like the new Elder Scrolls, like stuff we were all hoping for. They did show, they didn't show a lot of that sort of stuff. But
Just
I think
unfortunately-
generally, yeah,
Unfortunately, slower because of the COVID-19 and the
Mm.
production just slowed down a lot. So we're going to get a lot of the same stuff we already knew about, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. So there were a few surprises. I think overall, it was average, but it was put together well. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It was good for gaming, but it was crap overall. That's how I felt.
The way, like, I had to try and think about how I would summarize it, and of the fact that there's a lot of consistency as opposed to irregular, the irregular announcements and vague windows of opportunity and stuff like that. Like it just seemed like there was a lot of games that was announced that said you're either going to get it in the next couple of years or they've just said yep 2022. I felt like the overall consistency of the fact that there's not 15 blockbuster games coming out, but there's a list of 20 to 30 games coming out in the next 6 months type thing, and not many of them look bad per se. So I like that side of things. So the fact that I feel like we've got a little bit of consistency back.
Yeah.
I think Xbox has like a title coming out at least once a month at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a massive game.
they did a good job this year.
Yeah.
So
So in saying that, who do you think probably had the best presentation?
I mean, sorry to jump in again, but either Digital Devolver was probably the most entertaining,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a lot of their games that they showed off, like I honestly think that Trek to Yumi
Yeah.
looks like one of the games that I take away as one of the that stole the show for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it was just a really really good presentation. But then I'd say the Microsoft presentation as well, is they just go, let's just line up 30 trailers in a row and say here you go, and just bang bang bang, just
That's what they did back in
trailer.
And that is very
2019, eh?
iconic. Yeah, that's very iconic Xbox to just show you the goods instead of sitting there talking too much on the stage.
So they were almost two different ends of the scale of like having like a proper full on showcase, and another one was just like a games reel of just keep the intensity up.
Yeah.
So,
I would agree with you. Mine was between probably Digital Devolver. Devolver Digital.
Digital Devolver, yeah.
Yeah, their name swaps back and forth sometimes. Theirs was pretty good. An Xbox, Nintendo was pretty high up for me. Probably not between those two, but it was like very closely third. But even I think Nintendo dropped the ball a little bit. There was like so much stuff. I'm like, nah. So I don't know. Is there anyone that surprised you?
Like in a good way or a bad way?
Anyway.
Because Ubisoft surprised me of how poor their showcase was.
Yeah, I was just thinking Ubisoft and Square Enix, those two were sort of let down for me.
I was expected to be blown away by Square Enix because they always come in with like pow straight in the face with something like massively huge, but even that was like lackluster this year.
Hmm.
Like that might have been Sony trying to like say keep things on the hush. We want to sort things
Yeah.
out ourselves or something.
Because they didn't even show Final Fantasy 15, did they? Or 16? Is it 16?
16,
Or-
16.
No.
Yeah, that didn't show that at all, did they?
No,
You want
'Cause
to
that's
say anything,
pretty-
Sub?
What was the question?
Which showcase surprised you?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what didn't surprise me
Mm.
was Gearbox's one. All they did was walk around a movie set, talk to actors. Well, that's all I saw anyway. I didn't see anything else.
Yep.
That one was a little bit cringy too because the world is a big fan of Eli Roth, right? And Randy, is it Randy Pitchford?
Pitchford, yeah.
Just kept interrupting and talking over the top of him. I'm like, oh my god, this is a dumpster fire.
I don't recall them showing any of the movie anyway. Anything
No,
extra.
they didn't.
Or
They
anything
didn't.
of their game that they were doing.
They blurred out. If you watch in one scene, they must have showed some of the set by accident. They blurred it out in the background. So yeah, it was interesting. I found Bandai Namco's one really interesting. The fact that they only showed one game, so why even have a presentation? Which was Dark Anthologies, the new Dark Anthologies, and what they did show, they actually showed like the villain, the creatures in the trailer. So I'm like, well, cool. That's kind of ruined it for me now, and I probably don't want to play it now as much as I did before because now I know what the monsters are gonna look like, and
You don't know
also
when they're going to appear.
yeah, but I still know what they look like now. Like
But
a
that's the
little
same.
surprise
That's
like
the same
that.
thing that happened with Man of Medan. I saw like that woman's face show up on the camera and then the trailers and whatnot. And my first
Yeah.
playthrough, I didn't even experience it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. But it's all because they're trying to sell like collector's bundles of the statue of that monster.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's
that surprised me.
I think it's frustrating in a way for us as the viewer. You're getting that in general for the world at the moment. Like everyone's splitting up to have their own streaming service. Disney's got their own streaming service for that. HBO's got their own streaming service for this. E3, they used to just have like a couple of big like shows that have Nintendo would line up, Sony would line up, Xbox would line up, and PC showcase type thing, and all the developers would get together and show stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
now, they're separating, and then you end up exactly like that. You've only got one game to show, but you booked an entire showcase for it.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it. I don't know whether they're doing that on their own because I don't know what the background story is. Whether they are doing it because they want to be independent, or whether they have to pay a certain amount to go on a certain showcase or something.
I think
it's-
I think it all started with when E3 was a thing, and I think it come down to the money paying for
Yep.
space in the convention center. So they went and
Yep.
did their own showcase
Thing
at a different
outside.
venue, and I think Sony started that.
Yeah.
That's
So
where it
it's-
started.
Mm. So yeah, like as a viewer, like obviously that's when we get angry, but from their side of things, business side is probably I guess there's a reason for doing it, but
Yeah.
when you come out and show a showcase is 7 minutes late, you're like all right, bye, and walk away.
Yeah. And there wasn't even a presenter. It just cuts to an interview, and then that was it. So
Yep.
And
Could've
while
just been a
Yeah.
YouTube
and
trailer.
while they could probably get away with that online, it probably wouldn't be the case if they actually had to pay money for a space to do it. They'd put more
Yeah,
effort
for
into
it
it. So,
Mhm.
but again,
how does
like Vibe said, COVID stopped games from
Mm,
going
only
anywhere
that,
really. So there's nothing to show. I just
a lot of platforms want to show the games on their own platform and stuff like that. So when it comes to doing a presentation and they're showing the same games that other like presentations have already shown, it's just what's the point?
Yeah.
Like for Scarlet Nexus, for example, that's on both platforms, PS4 and Xbox, but Xbox is the one that's showcasing it.
Yep. I was actually confused with the marketing on that, and I don't like it when they're not really upfront about that because there are a lot of trailers that end and it just says the Xbox
Yeah, or
Series X and stuff like
PlayStation.
that,
Yeah,
or down the
Yeah.
bottom, but like it didn't say PlayStation at all. So there was one stage where I honestly thought that was an exclusive.
that's what I thought as well.
Yeah, so I was actually shocked to find out that that wasn't an Xbox exclusive. But yeah, like I find that weird.
Yeah. Also,
Well,
weirdly, Take Two, you know, Interactive, a huge company, and they present a seminar on gaming equality, which, you know, is nice, but it would have
Mhm.
been also nice for them to share some gaming stuff instead of just holding up basically their own podcast of people in the industry talking about equality in the industry, which is I think is a really important topic. But I don't know if E3 was the place to. I don't know.
Like
I think
really
that's-
address it and
Yeah,
have that
I-
as their floor space.
I think
Yeah.
that's easier for like us to try and be like, oh, we could have showed some more game stuff on that, but that's because we're so comfortable with already accepting that. That not saying it's like we don't want to see it, but we don't need to see it 'cause we're so comfortable already.
Yep.
But for the people who aren't really aware and that, it's more for them.
Yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't really. I don't know if it was the time or place to do it because it was like one of the most downvoted videos I've
Oh,
seen
wow.
online for E3 because that's not what people wanted at that time.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
I
like
think
maybe
yeah,
hold a
like,
conference for that.
yeah. Like I guess like giving merit to that. Like if they mentioned that's what they're going to do beforehand, it probably would have received completely differently.
Yeah, if they
Hmm.
let people know that's what their showcase was going to be about. No,
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one to talk about, really, because I do
Yeah.
agree with the stuff they were talking about. And I did actually watch a good 10 minutes of it, but probably like the community, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are not going to show any games next. And I went to the next, you know, presentation.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, now we've talked about our feelings and who we thought kind of killed it. Did anyone want to comment on it? Like, Fletcher and I kind of said who we thought were Chloe.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Are we going to announce an overall winner, or are we just
Yeah.
happy that we
Well,
got games?
I don't know.
We do
I,
vote.
I haven't watched all of them anyway, so
Never have I.
some of them I just
Well,
wasn't
the
interested in
Xbox.
watching to begin with. So
Yep.
I don't
That
know.
just sums up the whole E3 in a nutshell. Like,
It's not
the
too early. I'm
ones
not getting
that
up
we
at
did
3 o'clock in the morning to watch this shit.
Yeah, but you could watch reruns afterwards.
Yeah,
That's what I
don't-
did.
No time for that.
Yeah.
There are times I could watch it once, and what I know is what I posted online, and that's just what I got from the publishers. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
I rather flick through the games that are coming out. If it looks interesting, go watch a trailer for it that they announced and stuff. That's how I prefer to do things.
Well, it was a rather dragged out event because it was like 2
It
weeks
was
where
very dragged out.
Yeah,
yeah we're used to E3. It's just like it's 2 days and then
a
you obviously
weekend,
have
yeah.
the week after after the presentations to go through and look at the games and stuff like that. But man,
Process.
like having to have a time frame up there of yeah, we're going to start showing things at the start of June. But the third weekend we're going to be close to wrapping up type thing. That's that's crazy.
It just seems like they were aiming for that live viewership.
Mm.
Like, it's online. They could have easily picked any time to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have all uploaded them at the same time.
I think
even,
I think
you know?
I think if I was gonna pick two that I thought were the best ones, purely because of what they showed, not necessarily because I liked it or anything, but Nintendo and Xbox / Bethesda, because they both showed a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo, I'm looking at Nintendo stuff. They announced the most, I think.
Yep. I did enjoy the Nintendo one. Like I'm still gutted that my prediction of a 3D Donkey Kong didn't happen. Because
Oh,
damn
yeah.
it, it's been 22 years. I want one.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
I mean, like everyone was super excited when they saw Samus like pop up on screen, and then it's Metroid 5 a side scroller. That was like a whole mixed bag of emotions.
don't
Yeah.
get your
People have been-
hopes. Don't get your hopes up too much about Donkey Kong. We all know how Pokemon Snap went.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we had some good, like, some pretty good predictions. Like there was quite a few. Like straight out the bat, Fletch said he thought a celebrity would be there, and then bang, Jeff Goldblum. You know,
Ron
like
Perlman
one
with
of
the
the
Payday 3
first.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the first. I think conferences like Jurassic Park has Jeff Goldblum in there introducing it and stuff. So
I think it's
yay, Fletch.
see that type of stuff is the one that you expect to have like the awkward moments where you see it the last couple of years when there's people that aren't prepared to go up there and do these speeches and stuff like that and just flub it. Like the fact that it's all pre-recorded, I was like, oh, I'm missing some of that stuff. Like I used to, I like laughing at showcases falling on their faces and stuff, but
You say
everything's
that though,
pre-recorded.
because I thought the PC show, the announcers on the PC show, oh, they were cringe as.
Yeah.
They were very cringy with their space themed like CGI type backdrops and stuff. I'm like, oh no, just stand up there like a professional presenter and just.
They're
do it.
like, hey, we can use green screens now.
Yeah, like what's his name, Jeff?
Jeff
When
Keighley.
when he presented the Summerfest stuff,
Hmm.
so good. Like, just stand up there and like do your job, you know? Yeah.
Was anyone
Also, but-
surprised? Oh yeah, you're gone.
The best trailer shown, and I'm sure Vibe and you will agree with this, Fletcher. Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Nothing beat that.
We'll get into the things we're
Nothing.
excited about.
No one
So Elden
cares
Ring,
about that
let's
game,
go.
dude.
Go Fletch. Do your Elden Ring spiel.
Oh no! Like I'm just absolutely amazed with that. Like I didn't even have that on my list of things I want to see at the show because I didn't think that they would show it.
Yeah, it's been
And-
that long.
And then it turned up before any of the big events. Like it got shown in the summer showcase. Oh
Yeah.
man, that game is going to be insane. But again, I don't believe that it will hit in January. Like they've put it right at the end of it. So like they're like, oh, it's coming out the first month of next year. But I'm so jaded
doubt
with
it.
game releases now. I don't see it
Yeah.
happening. No, I'm super excited about that.
It looks good, but it does look very Dark Souls.
Yeah, like
Like, I'm
what I'm
worried it's
super
just
surprised
racing.
about is that there were no new battle royales announced. That was one of the things that I thought was going to be like dominating the show of like all these
Hmm.
franchises moving to that. But
I think
It's slowly
Battlefield.
dying
I
out.
think Battlefield even left it out
mm,
this time.
Yeah.
yeah, so like that was probably the happiest surprise for me that there were no battle royale announcements other than like continuations of what's already out there.
Yeah, I didn't really expect, to be honest, I didn't really expect too many Battlefields because, like, not Battlefields, Battle Royales, because we kind of went through a wave of that,
Hmm.
like, what, 1 or 2 years ago when PUBG first came out, and it was like a massive wave of Battle Royales, and we're all like, no more.
Mm.
I kind of expected a huge amount of remakes and remasters, and I was pleasantly surprised there was some, but there wasn't like as many as I thought there would be, because I thought, easy, cheap content for these guys would be to go, oh, we're going to remaster this, and we're going to remaster that, and we're going to remake this. But there was
It's
a few,
barely a
but there
remaster.
wasn't.
What remasters
Yeah.
were there? I only know there was a
Wasn't a lot.
Life is Strange was remastered. What was
Yeah.
else?
Yeah,
What else was
Life
there?
is
That
Strange,
game doesn't need a remaster.
Yeah, I don't know. I never.
I don't know why
Yeah,
they did that
it
one.
doesn't.
animated games that style don't really need.
No.
I think it would
There
probably be
was
more
something
for the
else.
frames, I guess. But
I think there was another
Didn't
Nintendo
need them.
game.
with Nintendo,
Advance Road,
they
I
had
guess.
the Advance Wars, like which is just a Game Boy Advance game. Like they're remastering that and bringing it out.
No, they
which-
had Skyward Sword HD as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's where every new Nintendo console they remaster a Zelda game.
Oh, they
Yeah, I
do.
think there was some. Yeah, there was
Mhm.
something. But yeah, so I was quite happy with that. So no battle royales, no remasters, remakes. There was a lot of independent IPs and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, which was nice to see.
I think the thing that
Um,
I mentioned before as well, like I was hoping that they'd release games and then say, there's a demo or something like that coming out.
Mhm.
You're getting that early access with Battlefield. You're getting early access with Halo.
Yeah.
Some other games that are just flat out just coming out this year. Like so, I was hoping for a little bit more on that. But I really think about that. You really only benefit from that from shooting games. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't want a demo of Elden Ring. Play that
No.
for 10 minutes type thing.
No.
So,
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting
Even
that
though
Halo went free for multiplayer. COD's going to be
Yeah.
the only one left you have to pay for.
The Halo's going to be on Game Pass anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Very
you don't
Yeah,
even
but-
need Game Pass to play the multiplayer.
Yeah, I know that, but it's
So,
going to be
like,
on Game
you don't
Pass
even-
anyway. So
Mm.
not overall.
Has anyone seen the fall? Well, not the fallout, but like the aftermath of them talking about their battle pass system? They said if you buy a battle pass, it'll never expire. You
Yeah.
can just you can walk
Oh, wow.
away,
Yeah.
come back
Oh,
in
that's
3 months.
awesome.
Yeah, and immediately, like a huge Apex audience just said, "What the hell? Just start doing this." So like, there's already backlash from everyone else. Like a lot of other people, I don't know how far it's going to spread or whether it's going to get any merit, but that makes me so much. That makes me feel so much more comfortable. You know,
Is that just for that one season pass?
Nope.
Like you
Oh,
can
I'd
just
love that for
every battle
Siege.
pass that comes out for the Halo Infinite multiplayer
Yeah.
will be
Okay.
available for like,
So
whenever.
do they
The way,
stack or?
no, the way you have to pick which one you want to work on.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
Ah,
so
Like
if you
That's
take a
cool.
year off, yeah, if you take a year off and then you buy four battle passes or whatever it is, they may even have like a discount system where you can buy the last year's or something like that. You just have to pick which one you want to earn
Okay.
progression towards.
Oh,
You
dude,
still got to
I'd
buy
love
a
that
battle
Siege.
pass.
It's a
You got to buy
win-win.
a battle pass every year, but you can go back and continue earning the stuff you've already paid for.
Yep. So if
Okay.
you go on
Mm.
holiday for a month or something like that,
That's
and you were
brilliant.
level 89
awesome.
of the battle pass, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna miss out, come back and after your holiday, and then you can work on it then.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's innovative. You know,
Mm.
that's how it should have been from the beginning. You know, if you paid $30 for a battle pass and you
Yeah.
don't finish it in time, you can punish. You know.
Because you're
In
paying
saying
for it.
that-
You're paying for content you're not getting in the end as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
In saying that, I don't know how many other companies will be able to pull off that model. I mean, they're backed by Microsoft. If they if they lose a little bit of money on that, because people aren't pressured to buy the battle pass, they're backed. Whereas I don't know how that would work for other companies, but I mean, what Call of Duty is backed by Activision and Apex is backed by EA, so
Still work the same because they still have to buy the next battle pass to get the rewards from that one. It's just
Yeah,
they
that's
go
no.
back
I
and
don't think
continue
it's
earning
any
them.
different. The only difference
No.
is
Mm.
you
Players
don't
don't miss out on
you
stuff.
don't lose anything. That's all.
Mm.
Yeah.
They still get their battle pass money.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh, but like I think they because correct me if I'm wrong. Even in Rainbow Six and stuff like that, you can buy tiers for the battle pass, right?
You can do that in
Yeah.
every battle pass. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're trying to say with the fact that Halo's doing this. No one's going to be pressured into buying that last three
That's
or
a bit
four.
greedy.
And
Yeah,
they're not
but-
really
Very greedy
expensive.
mentality.
But I'm saying
Um,
that people that don't complete battle passes more and more often don't buy the next ones. Like I've stopped buying
Yeah,
Call
true.
of Duty ones. So
Mhm.
if I now know I can store it away and come back to it, I'll
Mhm.
always buy battle passes.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
more likely to buy one.
Yeah.
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 No, it's,
Yeah,
it's
genius.
good perspective on that because I didn't know how other people would view it. Like I will definitely feel
love
more
the
encouraged to
idea.
buy it
Yeah.
because especially if you come in halfway through a season, like that's happened to me with Call of Duty. I've gone back halfway through the season, and I was like, well, I've only got 3 weeks to get through this. There's no point me buying this pass.
Or you start getting super back into a game, going, oh, I might as well grab the battle pass while I'm into it. A week later, you stop playing because you're bored of it again.
Hmm.
Or you're like me and buy it and then grind it, but then forget and then come back and then for some reason you've only got
So you
1
get
hour
distracted
left.
by other things.
Yeah,
Mm.
you
know?
still got 2 days left on Sea of Thieves, don't you?
Yeah, I'm doing that straight off this. No, because I had its battle pass and it ended like when I was on level 99.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
I was so upset. I missed the last. You know how the last token, like the last level, is always the big prize. I missed out on the
Yeah.
big prize by an hour.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You know, so that I don't want that.
If it was Halo, you wouldn't have missed out.
Yeah, see.
Well, speaking of that, like of Sea of Thieves itself, with Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited
Turn it
about
up.
that.
I
3
swear,
days.
I swear if the
3
big
days.
treasure at the end isn't a jar of dirt, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
the-
actually Johnny Depp doing the
Yeah,
voice
I
acting?
know.
Oh, actually, I think so.
He wants
Because
to
whoever's doing the Davy Jones is definitely not
can't
Bill
remember his
Nye.
name. No, yeah.
Not Bill Nye. Like
Not Bill Nye. I know who you're talking about. But
He's the Australian guy.
no, that's Barbosa. Barbosa's can't even remember his name now.
Bill
Yeah.
Nye, the science guy.
Rush? Is it something Rush?
Jeffrey Rush.
Is it? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Barbosa.
Yeah. Even he's in it. Oh no, he's not in it. David Jones is in it.
Yeah, that's
Can't-
what we were talking
Anyway.
about.
can't remember
Yeah,
Davy
so-
Jones's actor's
Yeah.
name. He also did the speaker for Destiny 1.
Sea of Thieves. Let me have a
Zavala.
quick look.
No,
Oh no, no,
speaker.
yeah, like sorry, his name Bill Nye. Like so, it actually his name is Bill Nye as
Bill
well, but
Nye?
it's spelled
All
differently
right.
from Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, the speaker
Johnny
in Destiny
Depp.
1 as well.
That makes me sad.
That's surprising me because I was thinking about that. I think I brought that up in there. I was like, what's the next celebrity to be in a video game? But Jack Sparrow. I don't know whether you can really count that as Johnny Depp, being the next celebrity in the game because it's a character he's already made. Whereas, when Keanu Reeves turned up last year to say, "Oh, by the way, I'm in Cyberpunk," everyone lost
Yeah.
their shit.
Or like
problem
Norman
is-
Reedus in Death Stranding.
Mm.
The problem is Johnny Depp's still in that kind of cancel culture at the moment, even though he didn't, or most people believe Johnny Depp didn't abuse Amber Heard.
Mm.
He's still kind of frowned upon at the moment until he gets his name back.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, it is interesting
Yeah.
because they kicked him from the latest movie that's coming out for Pirates of the Caribbean, and they're like, but you can be in the Pirates of the Caribbean game
Yeah.
extension that we're adding on.
Yeah, so I'd say it's definitely not him, but it's still cool that he's in the game because technically he is Jack Sparrow. You know,
Mm. It was
no one else could play him.
it was funny when I was watching the trailer for that. I don't remember her name, but like she played Calypso in the
Yep.
Yeah.
in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yep.
I don't know her actress, but I'm pretty sure that it sounded like it was her as well. And I go, that sounds really similar to like Calypso from the
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it showed her like type figure, and I was like, no way.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
didn't coin on until I saw the dog with
yeah,
the keys in his mouth. I'm like,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
that was a great
way.
trailer. That was a great
Reckon-
reveal. So
Reckon the
It
dog's voice
was.
actor's the same.
don't know.
And that's what's great about E3 because watching that trailer made me go, "Oh my god, I need to get back onto Sea of Thieves. I need to finish
Yeah.
that battle pass now." So
Yeah.
that drops in 3 days. So I'm excited about that. There's new
Mm.
enemies as well. There's these crab people
Oh, yeah.
enemies, which is good. Sea of Thieves
Crab
needs
people
that. Yeah, crab people.
Have people.
Crab
walk
crab
like
clan
crab,
people.
talk like crab.
Crab people.
Um,
Guardians of the
I think-
Galaxy. What do you guys think of that?
Oof. I'm not sure how I feel about
I'm
that.
really
Skeptical.
I'm actually excited for it. Like as dumb as it sounds, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a blast.
Very
I don't think it's
skeptical.
going to be a 9 or a
Avengers.
10 rated game, but I reckon it's going to be a blast to play.
Yeah.
Not going to be
I think-
Avengers, hopefully.
I think it's
Mm.
getting a lot of negative feedback because people were expecting it to be the MCU version instead of based on the comics. That's why Drax
Ah.
looks different. So does Gamora.
Yeah, I mean
But-
they kind of already went down that route with the Avengers, exactly what Vibe just said. Like the voice actors and stuff like that that were in the Avengers were the voice actors from the cartoon TV series. So
Yeah.
like they carried on and stuff like that. I am excited for that because that's how I imagined the Marvel Avengers game was going to be. And then that game switched, and they're like, "Oh, it's a live service game now." Flopped massively. Everyone hates it. They're slowly clawing back the fan base, but that's what I wanted from it. I wanted a games where you pick a hero and then you're in a team, and then like you're commanding your team and going through and stuff like that. So hopefully the gameplay doesn't flop because the thing that annoyed me with that gameplay was that they wouldn't shut up through the
Yeah.
combat. It was just
Yeah.
constant chatter, and it's that got a bit annoying, but hopefully they dial that back down.
And it was pretty like repetitive gameplay, right?
Especially when it
With
came to
boring
end game
enemies.
grinding. Like
Yep.
the first playthrough of Avengers, I really enjoyed, but then it came to the end game and it was just repeat, trying to get
Yep.
gear.
It's like every
think
other
that-
game.
Yeah, pretty much. But Avengers just didn't give that satisfaction like Destiny and stuff did.
It's about the moment to moment fun. If you can't feel that, yeah.
Mm.
But I feel like they got into the other game was almost like a Mass Effect light situation where because it looked like they really focused on a lot of the choices type thing, and then that person remembers this and says they didn't like that decision, how we threw Rocket across the gap and stuff like that. And it's like Rocket didn't like it, or they switched it up. So I think they're
Yeah.
trying to go for like a Mass Effect vibe where the politics side of the thing is just as important as the gameplay.
Yeah.
So
don't know,
I'm
it'll be
I guess I'm interested by it.
You know, But Marvel's Avengers kind of left a sour taste in people's mouths, you know. So it
Square
would be
Enix
nice.
and Marvel collaborations.
Yep.
And
Was it?
the Guardians of the Galaxy actually looks like it's got better like enemies this time. Like one of the big things people hated about the Avengers was it was just you'd expect awesome as boss fights, but it was like a robot, a different colored robot all the time or something. So
Yep.
they did announce a Black Panther skin to go with.
Yeah, the
Marvel.
Black Panther DLC.
Yeah. There's quite a few DLC drops. Like Sea of Thieves, we just talked about Black Panther. I don't know why the hell they think people want a Valhalla DLC, but
Expansion,
that's
isn't
the
it?
thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
there was a few
That last
spoilers.
expansion was really cool for like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took you to like a whole
I've-
new island and like gave
Haven't
you
got
like a
around to
different.
playing it yet.
It's good. Like the standard game, I felt like that was a better experience for the
Yeah.
expansion of that. So at least I know that Assassin's Creed, when they do that, they do it with love. Whereas some games are just,
Money.
yep, they're like,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
here's 5 extra things that you don't really care about. Give us $30.
Vision.
And was the new Super Smash character announced at E3? Or was that afterwards?
Yeah, it
Well,
was
during the
Tengen Tune, right?
Nintendo conference,
So that's
Kazuya
not a big
Mishima.
DLC that I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
Just want to drop people off cliffs.
Yep.
Abandon your son.
what
I
did
like
everyone
the
think?
Rainbow Six Extraction showcase.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that
see
was
much
good.
of it.
Actually,
So,
watching gameplay.
so that's
Subby's right
definitely
there.
like that's its own expansion, is it? Like that's its own
Yeah,
game,
separate
right?
standalone game, yeah.
Okay, so you don't need Rainbow Six to play that. You just buy
No.
that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
$100 to play a
Same
Little
character, so it's
Shit.
little expansion thing.
I don't think it's the full roster. I think it's only certain characters.
not
From what I've seen,
I
But,
believe I
it's
believe
Three
there's
players.
I've since found out that I think there's 18 operators.
18 ops. It's pretty
Yeah,
pretty
and
large.
yeah, a lot of the not like the OG type ones, I'd say.
And it's only weapons, isn't it?
Yeah, you can play solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a little bit. Like I'm gonna get it because it's Rainbow and it's got all my favorite characters in it. But
People are
probably
complaining that the
we'll get
pre-order
back- people will get
skins
back to it. We'll get
you
back to
can't
Siege.
use on Siege.
Oh wow, that's kind of annoying.
Why would you
I don't know.
want to use them on Siege? It's a
Because they're pretty cool
whole different
skins,
game.
and people. Yeah, I know. People think it's the same game universe. They should be able to use the skins.
It'd be pretty cool if like you could unlock some things in Extraction and actually use them in Siege. It'd be a cool.
Makes
cool
sense,
thing
and
if they
it's an opportunity that's been missed on. But
did. Yeah.
because
I mean,
it's extraction skins look pretty cool.
Hmm.
I guess you
Just-
four would probably be the experts on it because I don't play Rainbow Six anywhere near as much as what you four would. But are you disappointed that this is coming out? This is the first new entry into Rainbow Six in 6 years, and it looks exactly the same as Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, exactly the same as the quarantine event
Yep.
they had.
Like no new engine, no animations, no nothing. It just looks. I think that's why people are so confused, especially me. I just assumed it's just to add on for Rainbow Six Siege because it doesn't look anything
There
different than what it
is.
was.
That's not entirely true. There is new animations. They do have executions, which Siege doesn't
I was
have.
gonna say it looks a little
Right,
bit
okay.
crispier because it
I have-
is crisper. You
Mhm.
know.
They have
um,
adjusted how characters' abilities work, so like Doc can constantly stim himself back up to
Yeah.
life.
Think of how a gadgets used to work in
I'm 10.
Siege Day 1, sort of Season 1, where they don't work like that
Pre-nerf.
anymore. Yeah, like Pulse's thing would ping
Pre-nerf.
through the walls when you see heartbeats. That doesn't
Mhm.
happen in Siege anymore, but it does in Extraction.
Okay.
A lot of things that how the gadgets used to work kind of work in this
Yep.
game, if that makes
Right.
sense.
I think
Mhm.
we'll all play it, but I
OP
think
version.
we will
Yes,
all go
OP
back
version.
to Siege. It
Yep.
doesn't look like it has staying power,
hmm
Especially since if your character dies in the game, you lose them and you have to go in and extract them again.
Okay.
Like you can lose party members in the game and then you can't use them anymore on your roster until you extract them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like, you gotta
that,
go
What
and
was going
that's
on
what
with
has the
characters?
appeal for me. I
What
like
happens when you
games
run
with
out?
a challenge.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what a lot of
Sarah's
There's a
on
people.
little bit more at stake.
A lot of the
Okay.
YouTubers have complained it's not that great, but they've been stuck on easy difficulty.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to experience harder difficulties yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they want everyone to look good when they play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What were you gonna say, Fletch? Before have you watched?
oh, well, it's just thinking in that like same vein of the Breath of the Wild 2 has been shown. Like they've got another trailer for that, and I wouldn't like. I'm definitely excited. I'm super happy that there's something new about that game because we've all been sitting on it like our hands waiting for something. The last one came out 2017. This looks like it's going to be next year, hopefully. It looks exactly the same, which I don't know whether there's a limitation on the Switch and stuff like that. And I think that took a little of the steam out of me when I saw it because it showed new stuff in it, but overall it looked exactly the same. So it's kind of hard
does.
for someone that's if you could show someone
I'd
like a
get
trailer
excited.
of that and the number two that hadn't played it and they wouldn't know that they're different games.
It's because of the way it's styled, isn't it?
Yeah. So like the Zelda games have always been that. Like every single release except for Majora's Mask, which was built on the exact same engine as Ocarina of Time. Every single one, the next one comes out, it's always something different, so it's always exciting. But yeah, I don't know. Like I know that it's going to be good, and I know that I will enjoy it. But it took a bit of the steam out of me just seeing that it looked exactly the same.
Because it's come out so soon after the first one, maybe.
Mm.
I'd
Well,
say
that's
2
so
years.
by the time it releases,
More
it's
than
going to be
that.
5 years. So yeah, the last one came out 2017.
Oh yeah.
So
Don't do my maths very well then.
yeah, so
From
yeah, that's
what
like
I've
5 years
heard,
later.
From what I've
Mm.
heard, the game is set in more of a darker setting, kind of like how
Mhm.
Majora's Mask was, where it's a lot more
Yep.
darker and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I haven't really watched anything on that one.
Mm. Maybe they're just
Yeah.
showing like the bright, vibrant stuff to
Well, that's
set a
what I
certain
was gonna
tone.
say, similar to Vlad. Maybe like, if they'd set it into like a completely different environment. 'Cause you're right. It does look like the green tree, leafy
Yep.
place, like the first one. You know,
Mhm.
maybe if it'd been a desert or I don't know.
I think if
something
they
dark
they
and
I think
scary.
if they'd made it more dungeons because I think I love Breath of the Wild. Don't get me wrong, I really really loved it. But the temples
Yeah.
weren't temples. Didn't feel like dungeons. They were just so clean because
Yeah.
you're on these like the divine beasts or whatever it is, and it's just like a really clean environment. Whereas I remember like having nightmares going to the Shadow Temple in Ocarina of Time back in 1998 or something like that. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll lead to something like that where like Vibe said, it's going to be a darker setting.
That's the hard thing with sequels. Like Stalker 2 is a sequel, and that looks pretty amazing because it looks so different to its first one.
It reminds me of Metro.
It does look like Metro. I was trying to think before what it looks like.
Especially
It does look
Exodus,
like
'cause
Metro.
Exodus, you spend so much more time above land.
Looks
Yep.
so good. I want to play it. Too scary. But I don't know because I was a little bit excited for like a sequel to A Plague's Tale, but that looks almost the same as the first one too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Aquaduckies.
why I didn't get that excited either.
I know. I still got to finish the first one, Innocence.
Yeah.
Haven't got around to
You want
doing
to
it.
That was a pretty good game. That took me by surprise. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
That was a
Good
good
puzzles. I got about halfway through it, I think. I was enjoying the puzzles and stuff, then got distracted by other games.
Yeah, it's kind of a game you can chill out and play because there's never anything too intense. Like even when the rats are all like overloading you, it's not too
Some of the
strenuous.
scenery in Requiem actually looked pretty nice. Like the looking over the beach at the end of it
Yeah,
looks almost photorealistic.
I think the big thing that I'd look for in that was I liked the first game, but sometimes it handled like it was a bit of a potato. Like it wasn't the
Yeah.
most well presented game. Like in some things, like the atmosphere was great, but it just felt a little bit clunky. So like maybe they can smooth that type of things out, and that justifies the second game.
Yeah.
But
I think Focus is really, really building up what they've got. They're doing a much better job than what they did when they started.
All right. So what's one game each really stood out to you?
Horizon 5 for me. I was really
Yep,
skeptical
right.
about it being set in Mexico, but after seeing videos of it and being that huge open world, looks
Like
like
the
great
graphics are
fun.
amazing in those games, and they've like
Yeah.
kicked it up a notch.
were you scared
Yeah.
they're going to do the Hollywood thing and make the whole thing like gray washed out, or orange washed out, like they do in Breaking Bad?
Oh, yeah.
Like that orange
No.
filter.
The game looks great. Looks like it's got some good mountain roads to drift down because I do love the drifting in the Forza. But also some
water.
off-roading areas and stuff like the jungles. Look like a good time to get a forward drive out and just smash through them.
Mm.
And the campaign setting is a lot different than it was in the other Horizons. You got to kind of find landmarks and you earn stars instead.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the stars do. I think some people have said you can set up your own festival using the stars, and then I think you
Yep.
start doing some races and whatnot. I'm not entirely
That would
sure.
be cool.
Yeah,
They really care about that series. It's good.
I'm really looking forward to Horizon 5.
Forza games are like very much the crutch of like Xbox. You know, they know they're going to be successful. All right, Red. What about you? One thing that really stuck out.
Stranger Paradise, the Final Fantasy Origin.
Yep.
I mean,
It's
Is
Chaos
that
stuck
like
of
the
out
Chaos.
spin-off
as
game they're making?
it stuck out as the worst piece of shit that I'd ever seen at E3.
Chaos
Oh,
of
we're not
Chaos.
getting into
Yeah,
bad
Final
stuff
Fantasy
yet. You
Origins.
had to pick a good one. All right,
well,
you can
good
explain
one
your-
will definitely be Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All the
Fletch?
hype for that was well worth it.
This one is. It's difficult to like say that I'm super excited about, but it was made by Arcane Studios, so it's the new one,
Okay.
Redfall.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was announced, like the vampire game.
Yep.
If it plays anything like Dishonored and it's like a 4-player co-op experience, I'm going to be super excited. The fact that I didn't get to see any actual gameplay kind of concerns me, but I like the idea, I like the setting, and I like the studio. So if they can make it Dishonored gameplay, and that's the type of stuff you got to do to take out vampires, I'm happy. I'm so glad we're moving away from zombies.
Show gameplay because that one for me, I kind of looked at it and went, "Oh, this looks Fortnite."
Yeah, I got that a bit at the start of it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I hope it's not like that because now I'm gonna be totally uninterested." So I
Yeah.
hope they
Yeah,
make
I don't know
gameplay.
where they're going to go with it, but that's the only thing I can think of is if they can replicate the Dishonored gameplay in a co-op experience, I'm all for it.
Yeah. What about you, Subby? Something that stood out in a good way.
I was gonna say Forza Horizon 5 as well, but
Beat you
Vibes
to it.
already beat me to it. Otherwise, I could probably see myself losing a lot of time in A Riders Republic,
Ah, yeah.
to be
I
honest.
agree with that one.
BMX game?
It's everything.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's like
mix.
extreme sport. Does it?
Okay.
Like, you know.
It's a open. It's like it's exactly like Forza Horizon, pretty much. It's just
And Steve.
sports, bikes, gliding.
That's cool.
I don't know. It just looks really cool, to be honest. I had no interest in it until what they showed. What they
I'm
showed at
pretty whacked
E3.
out. Yeah, I'm pretty whacked out about them snowboarding on a flat surface and still continuing to have speed. That looks pretty weird, but looks like it's gonna be a load of fun for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very extreme sports.
So,
Also, I love the
Um,
wingsuiting in Steep. That was good fun.
so yeah, that looks
Yeah.
good.
One I can't seem to kind of get out of my head is the game called Replaced. It's like
2D
a
one?
16-bit.
2D
Yeah,
side scroll? Yeah.
yeah, it's like a little 16-bit like cyberpunk looking game. I'm like, oh, I play that so bad. Yeah,
It looked amazing.
I'm into
Like,
that sort of like art style.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Rodriguez, why does the Final Fantasy whatever it is? Because
Chaos of Chaos is called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chaos of
They seem
Chaos.
to be the one to be
why does
shitting
that
on
look like a
Final Fantasy
college
games.
turd at the moment?
Just the main character looks like it was build your own character and they just spammed A to get to gameplay. He does not suit the supporting characters or the enemies.
A quick start
He
character.
looks shit.
Yeah.
Relax.
He's
And
doing
Yes.
a no armor playthrough. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. No,
and the amount of times he says chaos during the trailer. It's a good thing I wasn't doing a drinking game because I would have liver failure.
I
Like,
need to.
it
I
was
must
horrible.
have skipped this trailer because I hate anything Final Fantasy. Anyone that watches this knows I'm not a Final Fantasy person. I must have skipped that trailer. Now I want to watch it.
But it is meant to be a hard Final Fantasy game because it's Square Enix and Ninja Theory?
Team Ninja.
Team Ninja, sorry. So it's going to be difficult like Ninja Gaiden. but set in a Final Fantasy world. So if the character didn't look like a pile of shit, I would be happy for it.
Oh, to be fair, you probably better
Alright.
make your own character, so
We'll forward your complaints to
hopefully.
Square Enix. And
Good.
is it Square Enix? Hey,
Yeah.
On the
Tell
box.
them to fuck off with their chaos.
you have to change your name Sony to Sony Redgrave, otherwise they won't listen to you.
is there
Yeah,
anything
true.
else you feel really passionately that you don't like tonight, Red Graves, from E3? Anything else?
What's passionate about or not passionate about?
Hate.
That you passionately hate.
Hate,
Ah,
because I'm feeling a lot of vibes over there. Anything
ooh.
else you want to get off your chest, buddy? What about the Avatar game?
Yeah,
Watch that.
fucking hell. Why are we getting another game? We're still waiting on the second movie.
Too long, too
Jesus,
late.
first
piss
game.
off
Long
with
too late.
that.
What?
This game was trash. This
Oh
game
my
was so
God,
bad.
Why? Oh. Maybe this could be a precursor to a movie. You know,
Possibly.
What if this
Probably
game
not
comes
playing
out
it.
and spoils the movie before the movie comes out?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Wouldn't be the first time a game movie's done that.
But
I
that
remember
happened
one
with
of
the Spider-Man game.
Transformers did it. Yeah.
Happened with the Spider-Man game. It picked up right after the events of the Andrew Garfield movie or something like that. So if you played the game before you watched the movie, it would spoil the movie. And they launched almost the same time.
Oh dear. What about you, Vibe? Anything you're like, no, big pass.
Not really. I just looked at the things I was interested in. I didn't really look at much else.
You just skipped all the other.
Yeah, that's it.
Subby.
I'm a simple man.
I'm the same. I wasn't really interested in some of the stuff. I'm not into the Final Fantasy games or whatever, so I can miss all those sorts of things.
Yeah. Fletch.
It's nothing that I actively hated. Just trying to go down my list of games. Like, I'm not happy about Starfield being an Xbox exclusive, even though I'm an Xbox fanboy.
Mm.
I just
I
reckon
don't
it's
think
a
there's
dumb
any
idea.
need for it. There's no
No.
need for exclusives.
That's the only thing that I didn't like about the show. Like, I don't see Halo is already a Microsoft thing. Starfield's a brand new IP. I'm just getting sick of that stuff. It's just
The big, like, open worldy exploring games, I think it's a real disservice to make it exclusive.
Yep.
You know, because those games are so enjoyable when you get to play it with people, you know.
Mm.
And to pigeonhole it just to Xbox people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming on PC as well, but I just don't like it. I just want I want it to be a happy world for consumers type thing, but
Yeah.
it'll never happen. You need to have exclusives, and I get that. And if you're spending $7 billion on Bethesda, you better get an exclusive out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the only thing that peeved me off. But I understand.
Mm.
Sabi, we need to talk about the fact that you thought there was definitely going to be a COD announcement and there wasn't.
Yeah, what happened there?
I
What
said it.
happened?
I said it wasn't going to be there.
What happened
The
to
Call of Duty John McClane.
what happened to
4th.
the
Gotcha, and it didn't happen.
what happened to the new NetherRealm game too?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff. Like, did they announce anything Sonic? I was sure there was going to be a Sonic announcement.
No.
No,
Like Subby said, they did announce a new Sonic game before E3.
they had already announced it.
I think that was
They
their
teased
out, so
it.
they're like, yeah, so they've already talked about it. We're not going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Seeker even really do anything?
They got a Judgment 2 game coming out. I'm not sure if that was actually announced though at E3.
I don't think
No,
so.
it was announced before that, I thought.
As before, okay.
Sega didn't have
Nice.
anything.
Oh dear.
What did Capcom
well.
announce?
Theirs was a real sketchy, weird show too.
I don't think I even watched anything for Capcom.
I don't think
I
anything
did.
came out
I
of it.
watched it. It was very unmemorable. It was a chick standing announcing. It had like a little arcade unit
10 at
next
most.
to it,
Oh.
showing stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
there was no Resident Evil 7 DLC, 8 DLC, sorry, so I
Yeah,
don't really
they-
care.
They did.
They announced that coming.
They did announce
Oh, yeah.
additional DLC for Resident Evil Village.
But they didn't
Yeah.
show anything.
No,
No.
they didn't. It just said
They've only
Capcom
started
coming
making it now.
soon.
So they announced
Yeah.
a release date for Versus.
Oh yeah, because it's
What about
Monster
that?
July,
Hunter
isn't it?
Stories 2 trailer.
hmm
Hey, that
Demo.
didn't look too bad actually. Right, Grace, the Monster Hunter one.
They showed that at the Nintendo one as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was like a double up.
The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles trailer.
Oh, that was boring as hell.
A whole bunch of Attorney Chronicles stuff, actually. And Capcom Pro Tour returns. The sports fighting tournament thing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know that kind of, in a nutshell, shows how I felt. Like it was very unmemorable. You know, like I remember previous ones. I've watched probably maybe 5 or 6 years worth of E3s now, like collectively, if you don't count last year. And like normally, I'm like raving about games after. This was so unmemorable.
That's because
You
we already
know?
knew about all the big titles that were coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was nothing like there was no wow factor this year, you know. Even Elden Ring, you
There's a
know.
lot of indie games and small games that are coming out, but we know that they're not going to have a long shelf
Lifespan.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're just
like
going to
Elden
get us
Ring
through to
was
the
the
big
best trailer,
games.
and it was just even that was just like because we knew it was coming eventually.
So
Yeah,
we're going to
it's just
award a
now we
game of the
actually
show.
know what the theme is. So,
Hmm.
like, it's very Bloodborne looking, but I don't give a shit. I'll play it.
Yeah, you live for
I'll
those sort of
throw a controller over it.
See, I sent that trailer to a couple different people, all people that have played all the Dark Souls games and stuff like that. And the general consensus was like, "Oh yeah, it just looks like Dark Souls." I was like,
Um,
"How's that a bad thing? If you
Yeah.
like Dark
Kinda.
Souls,
Kind of got an open world kind of vibe from it. Like it's gonna be more of a bigger area to explore.
yeah."
Hmm.
Mortal
I
Shell.
honestly think it's going to be like a old school Zelda type game because they talked about there's like four um, demigods that have been tarnished or whatever it is, or you're the tarnished and you've been sent away and you got to come and take down these four. So I'm hoping it's going to be four giant castles that you got to raid and something like that. So
It's meant to be 4-player co-op, is it?
I know it's co-op. I don't know how many players though.
People are speculating 4 players.
Mm.
I'm not getting it because I'll get my ass handed to me.
Nah, me, Vive, and Fletcher. That's all we
Yeah.
Yeah,
need.
that's it.
Yes,
Yep.
man. I'm not
See, I
good at
love
those.
those games, and I
Yeah.
didn't get to finish Sekiro because I didn't have Redgrave to join my game to carry my ass. That
I
sucks.
only, I only
You got
did
wrecked
one
by a
ending, and I
Yeah,
only did one ending on Sekiro, and I was like the halfway through where I killed my father, I think it was, or the
Spoilers.
other one.
I never got that far, so I wouldn't know. But
If he doesn't have
I
Red,
love the
go
old
carry him.
games. I love the Dark Souls series, but I legit haven't finished any boss in that game, like any final boss by myself. I've killed other bosses, but I think Redgrave has been there for every single time I've finished a Souls or a Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I did the thing. While Redgrave's 35 levels above me with like this flaming sword that's just hit him in 2 shots. I was
Yeah,
like,
just
yeah, that was me.
teabagging the enemy into
not like-
non-existence.
New
Yeah.
game 6, coming into
Yeah.
a new game world.
Bloodborne was the first platinum that I got for PlayStation.
Oh, nice.
Like of all these games you could play, Bloodborne was the one I got it. Have we had a chance to talk about the Outer Worlds 2 trailer?
No, we haven't mentioned
May
that.
Anyone watch
introduce
that? Huh?
I haven't watched
You
it.
may introduce
You
that.
haven't watched it? That was a funny trailer.
That was
That was
good.
good because
The
that's
narrator
exactly,
on that trailer was hilarious.
it was almost like exactly like what I was talking about in the last podcast about how I hate that they show these cinematic trailers and they're like, "Oh, get hyped for the game." You're like, "I know nothing about this game,"
I don't
and
know
it's
how
just
it
like,
plays or anything.
yeah, it's like like sweeping landscape because we don't know what the world is yet, and some slow motion shots because we haven't finalized any of the guns yet.
A picture
And, like,
of the hero from behind standing on a cliff because we haven't rendered in his face yet. Like
yeah,
stuff like that. It was
yeah.
very good.
I love that. I really, really love that trailer. But it's one of those things where I was like, I love the trailer because it was so funny. But again, I'm pissed off because they made that trailer and I don't know what the game's good. Well, you kind of do want to know what the game is because the first game's already out. So at least you got something to base it off.
And I highly
Hmm.
recommend that game because Outer Worlds is so good. Like Obsidian.
Dippy
Open
begs to
world.
differ. Dippy begs to differ. He couldn't get into it.
Yeah, but that's dippy.
It was harder to get into, but
of Apex Legends, and that's
I've-
about it.
I found it like just a Fallout game with a more linear path. Like you got some side quests and that, but it was good to have more of a linear
Yeah,
path
but
when it
it
came
was
to a game
way
like
better
that.
made, way better story. You know,
So I mean, it
Less
was great to have
bugs.
more of a linear path where you don't go and get
way better
sidetracked and
graphics.
in 20 hours and you forget what the main story was.
I think I need to do. Yeah, I enjoy stepping into those games every now and then because it really does appeal like that. You know, with Fallout 4, I got so obsessed with building like a base, and I'm pillaging for all these, tiny little knickknacks. I need glue, I need tape, I need springs and stuff like that. And like 45 hours later, someone's like, "Do you want to save your son?" And you're like, "My what?"
I remember the
Oh, that's a-
racetrack. The
Okay.
racetrack you made in Fallout 4
Yeah.
with the NPCs.
Yep.
Like,
Oh.
fucking hell.
Like I broke that game so badly, and I'm built on the red rocket thing, and because you can drop it and then put it back into your safe, and it expands the area that you can keep building on.
That's
But
my
it got
point.
so buggy that if you walked into my base, it went to about 3 or 4 frames a second.
That's my point. That's what's good about Outer Worlds. You get thrown into the story, you don't have really much else to do, and you get to enjoy the whole
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, you focus a
having-
bit more on it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to push Fallout 76.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they are.
Is anyone willing to go back to that?
I've still got it installed.
Never even-
I'd,
I've
I'd,
installed
I'd
it,
happily
it
go
was
back
bad.
to it if people were playing it. If people will
I
play it.
started with Redgrave, but since there wasn't
I'm
much to
so-
do on it,
And I'm so bad at Fallout 76. I don't know what it is. I'm just not good at it.
I want to nuke someone in that game so bad.
Yeah.
I've been nuked. You get an achievement for being nuked.
Really?
You
Yeah.
are
I haven't
bad
played it
vibe. You
enough.
need to stop playing.
Nah,
Yeah.
my mate nuked me, so I wanted to look up and just see what happened. And then
Yeah.
right on my head. Great.
All right, I'm going to download that, and by the end of the year, we need to nuke someone. Redgrave, you got to help me.
Damn right.
I'm down to jump in a bit.
Graves.
We can't nuke Vibe because he's already got the achievement, so it's
Yeah.
either Stacy or Subby. And we're
We'll
gonna-
nuke.
I'll
We'll nuke
take a bullet.
Stace. Yeah.
yeah.
You
No,
can
but at
take
least
4
build like
nukes.
this little shack like Eeyore out of like, and then you nuke me in it.
Oh, just gonna get nuked today.
I just want to sit with my knees up to my chest and be like, cannonball it. All right, last thing. Who is going to buy the Xbox Mini bar fridge?
I am.
Me.
Um,
I'm gonna get it.
might consider it. Depends.
It better have green neon lights around it or some RGB.
You could just get some RGB lights.
I
for
believe
20
it
bucks.
does. If you watch the video, I think when you open it, it's got the LED strips on the door. So it's
That's
green
good.
when you open it.
For post editing, can we have like a picture of the Xbox Mini fridge in here, sub, please?
I don't know
Sure.
how those those lights in fridges work. They last for
Yeah.
about a couple of months and then they break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about this before.
If
So
if
it's-
I have a moment of weakness and
Yeah.
it's not and it doesn't cost more than an Xbox Series X, I'd probably
Well, it's
buy
only
it.
$200 to $300.
It'll be the
article I
same
read
as
online.
it'll be the same as those
It
other
holds
fridges.
14 We talked
Yep.
If I don't already waste enough electricity
Yeah.
in the new fridge on my desk.
Really, depending on how much it is when it's coming out, I'll buy one.
Subby
It'd be
will
fun
get
for
one.
it'd be fun for the novelty, but where I play games, it's
Probably
about
bring it off the
3
fridge.
steps to this fridge anyway. So
Oh,
Look at
so is
it.
mine, but
Yeah, on top of it, a
I'd want
fridge on
the
a
fridge
fridge.
to be next to my computer.
yeah.
Yeah, Subby's got the Fallout one and the Call of Duty one already.
Mhm.
Has there been any other?
Surely, Lance.
fridges?
Surely,
I've-
Lance, you're running out of room to put some stuff. I could store some stuff for you.
So everything's in my garage, mate.
Yeah, they're all in boxes, so I can't keep collectibles in boxes. I get bored. I just want to play with it. So,
If I get a free one, I'll buy one and stick them on top of each other and have an Xbox Series 20
oh my god.
fridge.
Nerd. Oh, it'd be cool to have two and then put like a stand on it. And then... Anyway, that's it, guys. We're gonna wrap it up there today, I think. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to all the MKAU socials. You can visit our merch store. We'll put a link in the bio. You can follow us on our website, or you can come visit us on our website, I should say, where we do news reviews and put our podcast up. We hope you all have a really good week.